What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having another good day, y'all. Bringing y'all some new content since the last video, which first things first, I gotta thank all you guys out there, man. You guys absolutely killed and crushed the last video. I thank you guys so much. That is why I'm motivated and juiced up. Make sure my hat's straight. That is why I'm motivated and juiced up to bring y'all more content, y'all. In this video, I think this video is going to answer a lot of questions and a lot of curiosities regarding the build and how much it costs and what all went into it and how I went about it and stuff like that. I'm going to answer all that in today's video. Once again, drop a like button. It helps the channel out. It helps the videos out so much to get out there to reach new people. I want to say on my analytics, we got 25 new subscribers since that video got posted Sunday on YouTube, or Saturday. I don't remember what day it was. Hold on a sec. No, you guys, I'm not ripping on it. That wasn't even 40. That was 45% throttle. All right. Since I've had this truck, I have not gone over. I have not gone over 50% throttle. I haven't. I've been watching it on my Edge CTS this whole time, and I have not. But anyways, I just wanted to let y'all hear that. But going back to what I was saying, yeah, we got, just from that one video, about 25 new subscribers, which to me is a huge deal. Again, I'm not a super YouTuber. I don't do this for a full-time living. I legitimately do this as a hobby because you guys make it fun and you guys make it engaging, right? So once again, thank you guys so much for the previous video. For this video, drop a like, drop a comment, let me know what you think. Would love to hear you guys' feedback, and let's enjoy this video. So you guys, we're just driving in the truck right now. What I'm doing is warming the truck up, getting the oil up to operating temp. So where I work at and where I live at is about a 2-mile drive, maybe 2.5 miles, which is not enough. And what I don't want to do is I don't want to do short trips without getting the truck fully warmed up, because the last thing I want to do is glaze the piston walls. I want these rings to get seated. This weekend I'm probably going to be trying to, and thank you guys for dropping the comments and the advice and stuff. I'm going to be trying to hook up a trailer this weekend, just a empty trailer, just to be able to run it, get a load on the motor. Since we are about, we're about 80 miles into the engine break-in. I contacted DBR and I talked to them about the whole oil process. They recommended run this oil for about 300 to 400 miles, drain it, and then service it with conventional oil, no synthetic. And then he said run that conventional oil on a regular interval. So for what the heck? So for me, I'm gonna do about 75. I'm gonna do about probably 5,000 miles on the conventional. I'll pick up some Shell Rotella T4, the white bottle, change the oil with that stuff, run that for about 5,000 miles, and then drain that, and then I'll be able to run the normal synthetic AMS oil. So yeah, pulling up in here real quick. Shut up. A lot of people in the last video asked about this head unit, the Linkswell XL radio T-style. This thing is dope, man. This is a legit ass radio. AC controls. I got the AC system charged on the truck a couple days ago. It was like 240 bucks. They charge it up. This thing is ice cold right now, but if anybody's curious, I do have a video installing this, reviewing it. I haven't even started messing with it yet, just because I've just been worried about driving the truck. But just a little plug there for y'all. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. I haven't washed it yet still. I got some products coming in. I'm gonna wash her up, get her all cleaned up. Yeah. Oh yeah. Back to scheduled programming, baby. Let y'all get a peek at the motor. I know y'all want to see that motor running. Yes, sir. Clean. Super clean. valve lash. I did a hot torque. I redid the valve lash. Motor is smooth, man, butter. They did a very good job balancing this motor and blueprinting it at the machine shop. Phenomenal. All right, you guys. So in this video, essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be breaking down the cost of the rebuild. Okay, I know a lot of people have curiosities and they got questions out there wondering. They want to know like how much it costs, you know, all in all. All right, now I'm going to do this in it's going to be two forms. All right, the first form is going to be, first things first, this video is going to be for my people out there who are trying to, in a situation I'm in, right? Your motor is blown and you need to change your motor. Okay, this is also going to be for that unique situation where your motor is blown like mine was, where it has a hole in the side of it, aka the block got windowed. Okay, so it's going to help out you guys. All right, now the way I broke it down is the first cost and price is going to be if you are just trying to rebuild this motor yourself, you're trying to do everything yourself like I did, and you know you're going to reuse your injectors, you're going to stuff like that. Okay, and then the second price and the stuff I'm going to go over is all the extra flashy cool shit, right? That's separate because you don't need the second set of stuff that I did in order to get your truck back on the road. Okay, so I think this video is going to be extremely helpful and informative for you guys. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take it from the top. I have notes on my phone because it's just too much stuff to rattle off without messing up something. Okay, so the first thing right off the rip is the block. Okay, so my original motor that went bad, it was trash. I couldn't use it. There was a hole in the side of the block. It's in my garage. I'm thinking about making a video breaking that down, letting you guys look at the motor. If you guys are interested in that, drop a comment, let me know. I'll make one. But the block was bad. It had a hole in the side of it, number 6 piston or connecting rod left the chat, right? So I had to get a new block. Okay, so why didn't I just order a short block, long block from one of the engine builders, D&J, Industrial, Freedom Racing, you name it, you keep going, Choate, whatever, right? Why did I not do that? Okay, so you guys, this is very important to understand and know, is that if your core is damaged, you do not get your core charge back. Okay, for an engine, a core charge is going to be roughly $2,500 to $3,000. I think there's one company out there that does a $1,500 core charge, which is the lowest, right? But you still got it, you're going to eat that, right? I didn't want to eat that. I didn't have time for that, right? So what I did was I got a block and a crank, a used block and a used crank off of Facebook Marketplace for $1,500. The condition, I took a risk. I took a gamble, 100%. The condition was unknown. It was out of a wrecked truck. You can see the pictures, right? I got this motor used. I paid $1,500 for it. I got it for that price because the guy didn't know if the motor was good or not. And at first he wanted, I think, $2,500, $2,000. And I told him, I said, hey man, listen, I don't need your head. I have a head. And I just need the block and the crank, and at the same time I'm gonna have to send it to the shop and get it checked, and I don't even know if this block is good, right? So as soon as I dropped that on him, he was like, all right man, $1,500. I could have got it lower, but I had just got back from deployment. I was trying to get the ball rolling. All right, so $1,500 for a block, a used block and crank off of Facebook Marketplace. Machine work, so for the block and the crank was $1,256. Okay, what that included was cleaning of the block, crank, magnafluxing and checking for cracks on the block and checking for cracks on the crank to make sure it's good. Check the crank for line straightness to make sure the crank is straight and it didn't get distorted or twisted, because if a crank does, you can't use it, right? Or you can, but it's a process, right? That also includes machine work. They resurfaced the block. They grinded the crank 10th out under /25 millimeters, and they polished it and then they balanced it. Block, they checked for cracks, they machined it, they they line honed it for the crank to make sure it's straight, right? So they line honed the block, and they did some other stuff I can't remember, but it was fully blueprinted. Okay, it was fully, like, these people, they did a very good job. Rick's Machine out in El Cajon, California. All right, cylinder head rework, $661. Okay, for that, very similar. Check for cracks, resurface the head. The back 2 valves on cylinder 6 were bad, he said. They were bent, so he changed them out, put brand new valves, Did a valve job, new valve seals, grinded the valve seats, cleaned it, checked for cracks, the whole kit and caboodles, like everything, y'all. So he did that on the head. Also, at the same time, he assembled the head for me, so he installed new valve springs and seals and all that good stuff. Let's see, Hamilton cam. All right, so the reason why I put the Hamilton cam in this option for the required stuff in order to get the motor to work, right, is because I think this is a very, very good, well worth it upgrade if you are rebuilding the motor. If you're rebuilding the motor and you can fork up 649 bucks, do it. The 178-208 cam is a very good upgrade compared to the stock cam, and you can use it on a bone stock motor, stock injectors, stock turbo. It just overall just helps the truck. Like, I don't know why they didn't come with the truck that 178-208 from factory. After that, we have the Colt tappets. So I got Hamilton cam, Colt tappets. You're asking why did you mix and match them? Long story short, neither company sends to California. Okay, I'm in California. It's hard to get stuff out here like that. Hamilton will not send anything to the state of California. So long story short, had to drive to another state and get it. Right, drove to another state, picked it up. Same thing with the tappets. So those were $189. The rebuild kit. So I bought a fully complete rebuild kit from Interstate McBee off of Power Driven Diesel's website. That rebuild kit was $1164. It came with everything: pistons, gasket, every gasket that is needed for this motor it came with. So that was super awesome. Connecting rods. So obviously my rods were bad and I did not want a chance reusing those rods out of the old motor. So I bought, now some people got this twisted or whatever. They think I bought Chinese rods. I bought used OEM Cummins connecting rods. The same ones that say made in India, like the ones that are probably in your truck right now that you don't know about. Okay, so I bought a set of used OEM 24 valve Cummins connecting rods. Okay, those rods I got them checked for cracks. I got them checked for straightness. They got inspected, everything before getting installed. They were perfectly fine. After that, we got crank studs. All right, so I went ahead and did a stud kit for the main caps for the crank, and for the connecting rod, I did ARP bolts. Okay, fasteners. So I did that. That costed crank studs $269. So 269 bucks for that. I got the AC recharge, 240 bucks, Firestone. DBR braking oil, 258 bucks. So that's the braking oil I use. So if you watched the last video, you know that I did the initial break-in, and then I had to drain that oil immediately and then top it back off with braking oil. So I had to essentially get 6 gallons of this braking oil. It's not cheap. 2 AMSOIL filters, 87 bucks. Coolant, 60 bucks. Oil cooler, brand new, 133. Oil pump, 103. And then oil nozzles, J-Jet, some people call them, 21 bucks. Okay, this price, the next thing I'm going to mention, obviously I did not factor the price in the total I'm going to give you right now, but it's in my total, right? So where my truck was at, where I was working at on it, I saw a couple of people asked about where was I working on with my truck. So long story short, in the military, a lot of military bases, and it's super common to have on the military base a place called a hobby shop. Okay, what a hobby shop is pretty much a do-it-yourself mechanic shop. They have lifts, they have tools, they have all sorts of equipment, so service members can work on their own vehicles, because a good majority of the armed forces is made up of Marines that live in barracks, right? Or not Marines, service members that live in the barracks, right? If they live in the barracks, they can't have a garage with a toolbox, and they can't have a driveway and jacks and stuff, right? So hobby shops are very common on military installations in order for service members to be able to work on their cars. They can change the oils, they can, something as basic as changing the oil, or something as in-depth as changing the motor, like what I did, right? What I did, you do have to pay for it. It's not free. I paid 520 bucks for a booth and for the time there. The truck was there for a little over a month. You can say what you want to say. For me, it worked out. I think this is where it's going to be good at, and you guys, it's all going to come together. So everything I just listed is what you would need, or what you could do if you wanted to be have a good built motor, right? This is not a bare stock motor. If you wanted to have an upgraded good motor and have some fun with it, right? This motor total came out to $6,831. That is how much it would cost if you wanted to do this, okay? If you wanted to build a motor just like mine. $6,831, all right? I did not mention all the mods and other stuff because, like I said, I want that to be separate, okay? So now we're gonna roll over to, if you want to have a, you know, you want to have some stuff, some juice, right? So right off the rip, we got flux injectors, 100% overs, $3,950. Fleece coolant bypass, $341. TNC 10 mil CP3. I bought that used off of Facebook Marketplace for $900. TNC wild rail. So the fuel rail, I sent it off, got it polished, got the fuel restrictors removed. 31,000 PSI relief valve is installed on there, so I do not run a rail plug. We got that on there. Industrial injection big iron oil pan, $261. Oil pan is optional. I had to get a new oil pan because the one on the motor I got was smashed, and I didn't feel like waiting to take out the motor in my truck to put an oil pan on. I wanted to seal it up and stuff, right? A dipstick. I had to get a new dipstick because my dipstick, the number 6 piston, cut it in half. 91 bucks. Fuel lift pump plate. Essentially, it's the little block plate where on the driver's side of the motor, there's a little plate that comes out that goes up to your crankcase cover with the 2 hoses going to it. That plate, 15 bucks, Amazon, right? Or eBay. Motor mounts. You don't have to change motor mounts. I changed mine. Truck had 167,000 miles on it. Original motor mounts, they were clapped. New motor mounts, 101 bucks. Worley custom coolant pipe, 182. Worley custom coolant tank, 534. Oil pickup tube. I had to get a new oil pickup tube because mine was smashed and broken in half. 223, sorry. Second radiator delete. Okay, so this is a 2014 Ram. I want to say from 13 to 15. Ram did it to where they had 2 radiators in the truck. So you had the primary and the auxiliary radiator in front of it. In my opinion, it was a complete waste of time, and it takes up space and it decreases airflow going through from the fan. Shout out to my boy Eric because he put me on game with that, and still he has the only video showing how to actually do the delete. Super simple though. But to delete the second radiator was 193 bucks. Long story short, you just gotta get a 16 or newer coolant pipes, and then you got to get the 16 or newer AC condenser brackets, which all of that, everything total was 193. Block heater cord. So I ordered a new block heater for the truck, 75 bucks. Smedden heavy duty push rods, valve springs, 548. Exotic head studs, 278. Beans billet front cover, 548. All right. Now I put the Beans billet front cover on. Okay. The total for all the stuff I just listed comes out to $8,441. Okay. Now, I did not pay that. If anybody's saying you're higher than giraffe stuff or saying you're crazy, I did not pay that. All right. Some of these companies I had mentioned worked with the channel in regards to sponsorship, whether it was a full, partial, or some sort of discount. Okay. I'm not gonna sit here and say name off which companies in that, but long story short, I didn't pay that. Okay, because they were willing to work with the channel. I provide good content and stuff, right? So at the end of the day, between the extra crazy mods I have that I just listed and the bare minimum to get a rebuild and have a motor running, it comes out to $14,724. Okay. Now, why, going back to what I was saying, some of y'all might say, well, Cam, you still could have you know, just ate the little core charge, got you a fully built motor and just dropped it in, not have to worry about all the hunting and stuff. Yes, I could have, but I would not get the same value, the same bang for my bucks. Okay, y'all. So to put it in perspective, and I'm just going to use one company, Industrial Injection, right? There's a bunch of companies out there that make rebuild motors, but Industrial Injection is more on the friendlier side in terms of cost, right? The equivalent in terms of what Industrial would offer that matches the closest to my truck is going to be the Industrial Injection premium stock plus short block. That comes in at 7,595 bucks. Okay, I put a little screen video record on here, right? And the big ticket is the core charge, 2,500 bucks. So whatever price you see for the motor, and it doesn't include shipping, add $2,500 to that. So really, it's about $10,000. That's a $10,000 motor that I still have to pay to get, or I have to spend time and money to install. Okay, with that motor, it comes with ARP main studs, ARP rod bolts, but everything else is stock. It comes with coated and chamfered pistons, so that's one plus on it. Everything else is stock. Stock camshaft, tappets, all that stuff's OEM, right? And I did a big iron oil pan on my truck. This one comes with a big iron oil pan, okay? Essentially, you don't get the camshaft. Camshaft $648, so you could add it to this, but now you're looking at $10,500 versus what I say, $6,800. Okay. Now this is for my do-it-yourself guys. If you're the shop guy where you're gonna drop your truck off to a shop and you're trying to tell them, I want you to do this to the truck, I don't know if that's gonna fly with them. But this is for my guys that are willing and have the time to be able to, pull a motor, swap it, all that stuff. Okay. So there. And then, okay, if you responded with, well, Cam, you don't have to get that block. You chose to get that block. The cheapest option I can get would be the short block, just basic common rail. That comes out to $5,000, basically $6,000. It comes out to $5,967. Again, there's a core charge, $2,500. I called, I emailed, I reached out to all these engine builders, right? And first question I asked them, it says, if the motor has a hole in it, the block has a crack in it or a hole, is there anything else that can be salvaged for a core charge? No. They said once the block is cracked and stuff, they said they will not use a single thing inside of that motor. So right there off the rip, core charge, whatever price for a motor, add a core charge, okay? Which goes back to why I did it the way I did it, okay? Now, pros versus cons. Some pros you're gonna have is you're saving money, you are getting a well upgraded engine, and you get a little sense of pride because especially if you do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the first time I've ever swapped out a full motor on one of these 6.7 Cummins before. This was my first time doing it. I didn't know how to take the front end apart, none of that stuff. I just figured it out. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? I figured it out. I used common sense. Luckily, thank you Ram, thank you Cummins, because they make it very, I will say, idiot proof to remove and replace the motors, right? You can lift the cab. You don't have to lift the cab though. You can take the front end, you can take the front bumper off and the front core support out, which is very easy, and pull it right out the front. Unlike the Duramax Power Stroke dudes. Those are cab off dudes. You can do a Duramax from the front, but it is a nightmare. You gotta take the fenders off and all sorts of mess, right? So that's a pro there. A con, time. It's gonna take time to get all the parts and acquire them, okay? You gotta wait for the shipping, all that stuff has to come in, and then just time and labor, right? If you got a busy schedule, you might not be able to get to it. Kind of like me, right? This is not a weekend project. This was a ongoing, I want to say since December of 2024, okay? So I was deployed last year from May to November. I knew the motor had to get changed when I was deployed. When I came back, I had to change it. So when I came back, I hit the drawing board. I started planning and coming up with what am I going to do. After doing my research, finding out how much it was going to be for a motor swap, that's when I pulled the trigger and said, Cam, you just got to do it yourself, dog, because there's no way I'm going to drop $12,000 on a motor, $11,000 on a motor, and still have to change it myself, right? And then I got quotes from a shop, local shops, to change the motor for me, and they wanted $16,000. I said, okay, well, what if I bring you a motor and you just do the labor? $6,500. I paid to build my engine and install it myself the same amount of price that a company would charge in just labor. I'll let that sit in perspective. I got it. Everywhere is different. If you live somewhere in the Southeast, you're probably going to get it for cheaper rates of labor, all that jazz, right? Got it. But you pay for what you get at the end of the day. So another pro I forgot to mention is you can tailor the motor to how you want it, right? You can tailor it and you can take your time on the build, right? You don't have to sit there. I did not, and I'm being real, like I'm a grown man, like I work a job and stuff. I'm being real with y'all. I didn't just sit down and pull out the credit card and bust $6,600 out like that. I didn't. I can't. Like, I will not put myself in that financial burden like that, right? So what did I do? What I did was I just did it piece by piece. So I started off with the block. I found a block on Marketplace, $1,500. Got the block, sent it to the shop. That was about another, whatever the price I said, 15-ish, $1,600, right? Paid that, got the stuff back. Then I ordered the rebuild kit, right? $1,100. Like, I did it in chunks, right? To where I'm not in debt. I'm not in debt. For my credit card's clean, my pockets are clean, my hands are clean. I am not in debt from building this motor and putting it in, which was my #1 goal when fixing this truck, right? And I'm proud to say that, right? A lot of people don't talk about this type of stuff, but this is real life stuff. Like, you guys know this, right? This is like real life, right? It's a serious issue where you got to pay money to change something that is extremely expensive. And not everybody out there, you know, I know the other YouTubers make it look easy where they can just look at this shipment I got, look at this brand new build motor. Like, good for them and all that stuff, right? I commend them, right? And they made it to that point, but I can't do that. So me taking my time, sourcing everything piece by piece, right? Paycheck, I'll buy this, I'll buy an oil pump, I'll get the head studs, I get the crank studs, I get the rebuild kit, this, you know what I'm saying? I took my time and I got everything together, and then I take it from there, okay? Obviously, I was fortunate enough to where I have a second vehicle, the Impala. I was driving that for the last pretty much 2 years, every day to work, all my stuff, golf, and the truck just sat. It just sat there, and it was super depressing, right? But now I'm happy. So hopefully you guys, this video kind of helped give you an understanding. Just to kind of break it down, like, it's not obviously the most exciting video, but I know there's people out there that are curious. I know there are people out there that want to know this stuff, right? Because they might be in a similar situation, or if they're, you never know if you might be in this situation, right? So obviously I was fully transparent with the pricing. A lot of this stuff you're probably, I didn't mention it, but you might be asking, well, where did you get all your parts from, or what website? It was a combination between eBay, Amazon, industrial injection, power driven diesel. I don't know about y'all, but you can find some damn good deals on eBay. I think of eBay as Facebook Marketplace, except around the whole country, right? Where you can, somebody in Massachusetts can be selling, you know, a part you need, and you can snatch it up for a good price, you know what I'm saying? For example, the ARP connecting main studs and connecting rod studs I bought, or bolts I bought, I got those brand new open box for $240. Brand new. I'm pretty sure it's $328. So that's saving money there, right? You guys, something I forgot to mention. Let me know, all my 4th gen dudes out there that have this style key fob. Since I've had the truck, it's been like this. But long story short, sometimes sometimes the truck doesn't recognize the fob. I've changed the battery twice with different batteries. It seems like the truck chooses when it wants to recognize the fob and when it doesn't. Anybody out there have that issue? If you drop a comment, let me know what you did to fix it. I've heard people saying they just get a brand new fob and take it to the dealer, get it programmed, and they fix the issue. But anybody out there, just let me know. So, you know, sometimes I'll go, if I try to remote start it, it won't even recognize it. It'll unlock for me, or lock, but it won't remote start. Or if I'm in the truck, the key fob's like right here, I'm pressing the button and saying key fob not detected. Just let me know what you guys do for that, or what was your way to fix that. I'm just curious. Well, made it back in the garage, and I have a lot of cleaning to do. I know some people were inquiring about the old 5-inch exhaust system. It's already sold, so that one went fast. But I do have my stock CP3 for sale. This is a regular Bosch OEM CP3. If anybody's interested, shoot me an email. It is for sale. So we are gonna go ahead and wrap this video up, since the camera decided not to film my outro, so I had to make a new one. So thanks for watching, you guys. All that good stuff. Like, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know what you think. And until next time, you guys take care, and I will see you guys soon.